Hi, Jenny, and welcome back to Entrepreneurcast. It's so great to have you back with us today. So, Jenny, today I would really want to dive into the visibility online. How do you maintain your visibility online? How do you engage with people? How do you go about it? You are the visibility queen, so let us know.
So there are so many different ways you can do this. And I like to break down specifically the differences between online and offline. So let's take something like Facebook. Facebook has got like billions of active users. It's like the size of a massive country or something like that. And one of the things that I hear a lot of people say is that maybe they're used to networking and meeting people face to face, and then they have to navigate this online world. Like there's a certain etiquette in a group. At a meeting, you can go and thrust your business card at somebody, although it's not what I recommend. If you do that on Facebook, in some places, whether it's a group or you might be frowned upon. And the other reason that I think this is a really important piece to bring up is sometimes what happens are people will say, okay, I've got a business, I'm on Facebook, I might as well use it. Do I put stuff out on my personal timeline? Do I put stuff out on my business page? Do I create a group? Do I bombard someone else's group? And there's all these different things to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it up a level. So even if you already have a group on Facebook, a page on Facebook, you post stuff on your timeline, which you're not actually supposed to do, but we'll turn a blind eye. Even if you do that, I'm going to take it up a level and I'm going to show you how to ace your audience online. I'll also talk about this in a later episode of how to do it offline. So how do you ace your audience? Well, ACE is a really nice and easy to remember acronym. So the first part of it, so it's in 3 parts, ACE. So you acknowledge people. Now, if you are talking about your business and you want to put yourself out there and let people know what you're about, when somebody types a comment under your post, yes, you've seen it and yes, you might respond, but actually just liking the comment means a lot to people. Think about this. I spoke in an earlier interview with you when, I talked about interacting with Tony Robbins on Twitter and he actually responded. Now, I never, ever expect him to do that. But he responded to me. He acknowledged me. He didn't have to, but he acknowledged me. So if you are building a brand around your business, a bit like Branson, because so many people love Oprah and Branson, be personable, acknowledge people. If they're taking the time to come to your page and they are commenting or liking something, like their comment as your page and respond to them, even if it's just to say thank you. Really acknowledge them. Now, in future episodes, I'm sure we'll go deeper because there are other ways that you can let your audience know that you really understand where they are. And that's a longer process. So we'll save that for another time. So how to ace your audience? Acknowledge them. If they're in your group and they put a comment, make sure that you're going in, even if you've got 10,000 people in your group, go in on a regular basis and let them know that you're there. Let them feel acknowledged and listened to. So the second part of this is then the C. Now, I know it's a bit dated slang. When I was a bit younger, in the 80s, we'd say, oh, if something was good, it was ace, which now I sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but there you go. So you'd say something was ace, something was good. And if you want to ace your audience, you really want to give them the best side of yourself. So the second part is the C. It's all about connection. And whether it's online or offline, Svietlana and I know because of how we connected initially, how we got to know each other. When you connect with somebody, and I mean properly connect with somebody, you're not doing it for an ulterior motive. We didn't sit in London Bridge Station talking for like an hour and a half late at night because we were like, oh, I wonder what we can get out of having this conversation. So I know that we're in business. I see so many people do this, especially on Facebook. They have these interactions on the guise that they're interested and connecting with somebody, but it's clear to everybody, it seems, but them, what they're up to. So connect with people. Again, if they're people that are on your Facebook page, in your group, make connections with them. Get to understand more about them. Get to learn what's important to them. put the time in and make the connections. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Think about people that you maybe speak to online, that you would admire online. Maybe you've never met them in the flesh. Why do you like them so much? Now, that's a rhetorical question in a way, because there's some form of connection. Maybe you see that they're exactly the same as you, or maybe you see that they're so different and you aspire to want to be with them. But the likely answer will be that you have a connection with them. So if you're stuck with how to be, think of the sorts of people that you connect with really well online. Like literally write down on a piece of paper 5 bullet points of what it is about them that you love. And then at least you've now got a map for yourself of, okay, well, I like people who are funny. I like people who take the time out to talk to me. You know, I like people who answer my questions. Maybe I like people that like the same things as me. Whatever it is, it really taps into your values. So connect with your audience. And then the third part of ACE is the E, and that's engage. And this really forms part of an extended part of connection. Engage with people, speak to people. It's called social media for a reason, not anti-social media. You know, be really kind when you are responding to somebody. If you don't agree with something that somebody says, it's okay to say, look, I've got a completely different take on this. I don't agree with it. But to bash somebody on social media in a kind of like a verbal way actually makes you visible in a way that you probably don't want to be visible. This is not about editing yourself. This is not about pretending to be someone that you're not, but this is about you showing the same kind of almost compassion with people as you would expect for yourself. So really engage with people. If you're in like a gazillion groups, you might want to have a think about which groups you no longer need to be in. You know, maybe you're in too many groups to be effective or to make a difference. Are you in groups that align with what you want to do in the world? Are you in hobby groups? I'm still part of a cake crafting group, even though I don't sell cakes commercially anymore. It's something that I love doing. So look at how you can engage with people. And one of the things I find really helpful, even though I have my own Facebook group, I hope that the Vibers would say the same thing. I never speak to them in a way of like looking down on them. I never treat them like this is my group and you're my guest. It's our group. We all muck in, we all post, we all share, you know, so it's a lovely, lovely vibe. And it's something that a lot of people struggle with. They say, how do I get my group engaged and interactive? Yet they say that on the one hand, but they don't actually engage with the people on the other hand. So remember to ace your audience, whether you're in an interview, whether you're online, whether you're offline, acknowledge them, connect with them, and engage with them. That's really it.
Amazing. So we should all get visible online, connect with people, acknowledge them, tell them how great they are and why we want to connect. And I hope every listener today goes and does that. And I think that the very good point you made about, being in too many groups, because sometimes we being in too many groups, that kind of, you can't really follow any of them properly. So if you choose one or two, and for example, if you have yours as well, then you have 1, 2, maybe 3 groups, and at least you can engage and build those relationships further instead of, just kind of seeing that, oh, something popped up again and just, forget about it. Yeah. So incredible. That's a great message. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today, Jenny. And I really look forward to our next tip of the next week.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye for now.